My next guest is a man who seems to have the courage of his convictions. He does things that a lot of people threaten to do and don't do. Like recently, I think it was about a year ago or more now, he decided to abandon his television and theatrical career and become a man dedicated to doing as he pleased. And he's still doing it. He may be here asking for a handout. Will you welcome a most unusual fellow, Mr. Orson Bean. See now, you.
I have a very important message for all the people sitting downstairs.
Yes?
The balcony is loose. I don't know why I thought
I haven't heard.
It was such a resounding...
What a terrible thing to say. Now they'll all sit there wondering if it is. Well, now you see, first you went to Australia, then you came back from Australia, and then recently you went and just cut out of community living and into another kind of living. And since you do these things that people threaten to do and don't do, I wanted to hear how you did.
We decided to get the hell out of New York about a year and 3/4 ago. And I realized that being in the business I was in, I had to live in New York or L.A., and I still think New York is the most exciting city in the world. But finally I got sick of breathing the bad air and the rest of it. And I felt that the excitement, at least for a while, wasn't worth the horror, and we decided that if we were going to go away, we might as well really go away somewhere, and we decided to go to Australia, just kind of drop out.
Right.
In the back of my mind, I had ideas of possibly starting up a new career down there, and if we liked it, staying on, but we said in any case we'll stay for a year. So my wife and the 3 kids and I packed up and just went one day. And I worked a little bit there and found out that show business is so kind of awful and mediocre, and like the best thing on television is reruns of Gilligan's Island, and I just didn't want to work in it.
That's here or there?
There.
Oh, there. Oh, I see. Okay.
And to my amazement, I found that I didn't miss working. It isn't that I don't need to work. I do need to work to do something once in a while, or to make some bread to eat.
You're not the heir to the bean fortune.
I'm not the heir to the bean fortune, but we found that we were living on a vastly reduced, lower down on the hog than ever before, but we weren't missing anything. It's just as much fun to go into a little Italian restaurant and eat for $1.50 as it is to go to a pavillon and eat for $50. It really is just as much fun.
More in a number of ways.
More in a number of ways.
Like the $48.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we had a 4th baby. It was happened on a Sunday in Melbourne, as I recall. That's a little like Philadelphia. And
what's wrong with, someone has to ask this, what's wrong with Philadelphia?
What's wrong with Melbourne?
Yes. Yeah, right.
I've just come back. It's a beautiful country.
How dare you come out here?
Yeah. It's just that on Sunday there isn't much to do, if you recall.
And, and the television is great. The Persuaders won the Best Show award there.
Well, my point is proved. No, excuse me.
The Persuaders was the best show?
Yeah, I got an award.
Hilarious.
Rock Hudson gave it to me.
Well, all right. Now, since you both are on the same side as far as Melbourne is concerned.
Since we went there, we found out that I really didn't have the need to walk into Sardi's and have people buzz and say, that's what's his name, anymore. And I really felt that I didn't have to be an actor anymore. I want to be a person. I want to be a lover, and a husband, and a father, and an actor, and a writer, and a loafer.
Are you never satisfied? That's 7 things that most people never attain.
And the best thing I am is a loafer. I sit and think a lot, and sometimes I just sit. And I think it's wonderful. It's the best thing I've ever done, and I hope my son follows in my footsteps.
Just sitting in...
sitting a lot. It's a wonderful thing to do.
If you sit a lot, it's not your footsteps that he'd follow. But anyway, where were we? Oh, how would that go over in Australia?
Oh, that would be very big. They love that kind of humor over
there. They'd like that. I see how this is going. But then you did live in what we actually know as a commune for a time. Or you lived some communal living, didn't you?
Yeah, we had some friends, another couple that had 4 kids the same age as our 4 kids. And we're old friends of theirs, and we had often jokingly said that if we could find a 3rd couple with kids, we might try to find an old ramshackle farmhouse and set up a kind of a middle-class commune, an expanded family, see how it worked out. We realized at one point that we would never find a 3rd couple as crazy as we were, so we decided to try it. And last, I guess it was September, October, we all moved in together. and into a big old house that they were already living in, and we started living communally. Not in every sense.
What does that mean?
It means that we shared all expenses, we shared all the work of running the house. I did the handyman jobs around the house because I wasn't working, and the other guy who was working went off to work and brought some of the money home. The wives shared the cooking and the cleaning. I did my share of the cleaning too, in fact. My wife says she's the only one that never asked to be liberated, and she got liberated.
Yeah.
I rather enjoy making the bed. If there was any money in being a maid, I'd clean up. And
Wait,
and I'd get car fare too.
a lot of people have said, let's get a big house and do
Yeah.
that, and you actually did it. I think I'd like to hear some more details on that. We also have a lady on later who said, let's get a big house, but it was a different. Well, that'll all come clear. We will return after this message of interest. Talking with Orson Bean, who did that thing that people dare themselves to do. Now, once you got out there into the big house and you were all sharing the cooking and the working and the bed making and all, there must be some drawbacks to it, where you wake up in a cold sweat and say, oh, I shouldn't have done it.
The drawbacks weren't what most people would think they were. People would say, oh, we would squabble over the money, who paid the bills, or who bought what we had for dinner. That was never a problem. The good things about it, the commune lasted almost 3 months, I guess, and the good things...
It lasted 3 months.
Yeah, and we were perfectly prepared for it to go on until June, at which point we would just figured that the school year would be over and we would move on to another adventure. However, the other couple wasn't as crazy about it as we were, and for perfectly valid reasons. They felt that their family was losing its image, that the kids... an interesting thing happened. There were 8 kids there, 4 of ours and 4 of theirs. They had a sub-commune within the commune, as it worked out. We rarely saw them. They only came around at mealtime. And aside from that, it was like they were away at camp somewhere. We heard them constantly. The noise level was incredible, but we never saw them. And they felt that the lines were fuzzying up of where their family ended and ours began, which we did too, but we didn't mind that.
Why would that necessarily be bad? I don't...
Where would it be bad?
Yeah.
I think that some women have a need to mother their children in the sense that they need that specific adoration need. If a kid falls down and hurts his knee and runs to them, they would feel bad if the kid don't run to them as much anymore.
Well, the thing that would get to me, I would think, would be the fact that it'd be like the company never goes home. You know, I mean, everyone has certain friends they could imagine maybe sharing a cabin with for a week or 2 or something.
The lack of privacy was a serious drawback for me. I found myself sometimes with something I desperately wanted to tell my wife at 10 in the morning, and I never found her alone for a minute till 10 o'clock at night, and by that time I'd forgotten what it was.
Was it just an adventure, or did you go into it thinking it might be something that you could just live with, for a long,
If it had
long
been
time?
swell, we would have lived with it forever, just like anything. But on the other hand, you shouldn't stick with anything if it isn't fun anymore.
Right.
If the good doesn't outweigh the bad, I'll say. And that goes for anything.
Did you have television sets?
Yeah.
Then I know the problem in my house, that I want to look at a program. My wife wants to look at another one, and the kids, well, we don't have much choice in England, but, there's not that many channels. But there's always a row. How do you manage with 28 people looking at television?
It just didn't seem to be a problem. With that many people around, TV receded into the background. We found that the kids didn't even watch it much anymore. There was a lot of people around.
Yeah.
There was a whole world going on in there.
Have your own chat show?
Yeah, we did. What I loved about it was this guy worked in the afternoon and the evening. I found myself looking forward to his coming home at night, almost like a wife would. I said, geez, it's almost time for him to come home. It'll be swell. We can eat then.
Picture you getting your apron off and fixing it. Wait a minute.
I really became very fond of him because his coming home meant that we could eat. We used to feed the kids at 6 o'clock, and then we'd wait till he got home from work, and then we'd all sit down and eat. But it worked out rather nicely. My wife was inordinately fond of the situation. She loved sharing the housework with the other girl. She loved the fact that there were certain chores that she never enjoyed doing that it happened that the other girl enjoyed doing. For instance, the other girl didn't mind whipping up a schlock meal of hamburgers for the kids. My wife, on the other hand, really enjoys making a kind of a fancy meal. So the other lady made the dinner for the kids at 6 o'clock and whipped something up that was nice for them. And then my wife went to work, and we put candles on the table and had prepared a nice little meal with a sauce, for the grown-ups for later. And she liked the fact that she enjoys going going shopping, which the other girl hates to do. So my wife would do all the shopping at the supermarket for the week. And the other girl likes dusting around and watering the plants and that kind of thing, which my wife ain't crazy about.
Is there, excuse me, Dick, is there a guide, I just wanted to ask him, is there a guide for living in communes or for organizing communes, or do you just find somebody that you think you'd like to live with and go at it that way?
There isn't any guide. Most communes fail because they are imitations of a marriage, but with more people. There's usually 1 or 2 people that take the garbage out, and nobody else does anything. It becomes like a daddy figure in every commune that I've ever read about, and the rest of the people kind of come and go and don't carry their own weight. Ours was a kind of a middle-class commune where everybody took out the garbage and everybody helped with this, that, and the other, and we weren't searching for something in the commune except an expanded family. I feel that the atomic family is basically not the ideal way to live. I think it probably was swelled back in the days before the Industrial Revolutions when there was a lot of people under one roof, maiden aunts and grandfathers and cousins and teenagers, and everybody kind of living in a big group. I like being around people.
But it's over. I mean, that's an episode that's passed.
If we find some other crazy people that are crazy in the particular way that we're crazy, we'll...
You might do it again.
Well, just have another kid, and you've already got 4, and you've got your own commune anyway.
That's right.
It's not the same. You've got to have outsiders. Wait, after this message, we'll be right back.